So by now, you're well on your way. You're into regular foods, you're trying new things. One thing I get asked all the time as a dietitian is, what do I eat? I get bored. What do I eat? I want variety. And I'm going to revisit with you what I call the 2P way to plan your meal. So, what are the 2Ps? The 2Ps are protein and produce. And produce is vegetables and maybe 1 to 2 servings of fruit a day. Why do we have this menu? One is that we have to meet your protein needs. We have no requirement in our life to eat carbohydrates. Even if you don't eat carbohydrates, your body will still make and have blood glucose available. But we have no essential need for carbohydrates. And number two, because we are eating such smaller portions after surgery, we have to meet your protein needs and your vitamin, mineral, and micronutrient needs. And if you fill up on things like bread or pasta or mashed potatoes or let's say sweet potatoes or a piece of let's say a muffin, right, for breakfast, you're not going to have room for the things that are essential for us to live a good, long, healthy life. No one ever comes to me and says, Tina, I am having surgery because I am hoping to fail. I'm hoping this doesn't work. Every single person in front of me, when I do a nutrition assessment, and I've done thousands, tells me I'm doing this because I want to live a long time. I'm doing this because I want to have energy to play with my kids, to play with my grandkids. I want to enjoy the retirement that I worked so hard for. I want to be able to travel. I want to not get the diseases that maybe your parents had. And our 2P meal planning method is a way to get those results long term. So once again, the 2Ps are protein and produce. Where's my protein? Where's my produce? Where's my protein? Where's my produce, right? So I have sample menus for you, and you'll get a couple of them throughout these email series, but make sure you log in and get those. So for protein and produce, let's say you want to have chicken stir fry, right? And typically you would have a chicken stir fry and you'd serve it over rice. What you're going to do after surgery is we're going to skip the rice. You can have the chicken, you can have the vegetables as long as it's in a sugar-free sauce. And if you want, you can use some cauliflower rice. That would be your produce. If you want, let's say, chicken fajitas, great. We're not going to have those flour or corn tortillas with them, but you can have the chicken, the peppers, the onions. You can put a little bit of topping if you want on the side. You can have some refried beans on the side. Or take your chicken fajitas and throw them over a Southwest salad kit that you can get in a grocery store, because that's going to be your protein and the salad kit would be your produce. Same thing. Let's say you want a burger when you don't want to have the bun, and we're going to skip the fries and maybe have coleslaw or broccoli or even a little bit of like a summer salad with like berries on the side. That's going to be our protein and produce. For breakfast, doing things like hard-boiled eggs and maybe a cut-up pear. Or you can do like some good like Amalou chicken sausage for breakfast if you're not an egg person. And then with that, go ahead and have a little cup of berries. That's going to be your protein and produce. For dinner, let's say you make meatloaf for dinner, and typically you make meatloaf with mashed potatoes. We're going to skip the mashed potatoes, have your meatloaf, and have green beans with them. So that is the protein and produce. You're going to focus there. And then if maybe you have some room left, there might be a bite or two of carbohydrates. And I also want to give you a reminder that a lot of these foods that are processed carbohydrates in a package. So think of snack foods, think of fried foods, French fries, Cheez-Its, Pringles, chips, cookies, things like this that do have the carbohydrates. One, if they're sugar, they're going to cause dumping syndrome. But two, they're highly, highly, highly addictive. So I always tell my clients a Dorito doesn't taste like a Dorito by accident. The Dorito company, Frito-Lay, spent millions of dollars figuring how to make a Dorito taste like that so you crave more, eat more, and want more. Chances are, if we've had struggles with our weight in the past, we've had an addictive brain to those type of foods. We don't want to open the Pandora's box on that addiction more or sooner than we have to after surgery. Same thing, McDonald's hires scientists to figure out that a French fry disintegrates on your tongue to ping all the pleasure centers in your brain as quick as possible. We don't want to open up that addiction in our brain, especially early on after surgery. When we choose foods that we call whole foods, where they're close to nature, close to the animal, close to the way they were grown, one, they're not addictive. No one's ever told me they crave more and more broccoli and can't stop eating it. And two, they're naturally low in calories, so they're going to help you get to your weight loss goal and stay there. And number three, they have the most nutrition in there, and they have fiber that also helps keep you full. So that is our 2P meeting plan, and why it is so important we focus on protein and produce after surgery to get those long-term results you desire.